Hi, I'm Dr. Abie Mendelsohn. Gender affirming surgery is so much more than just a medical procedure. It's a result of personal journey, resilience, and transformation. We would like to learn directly from gender diverse individuals as they share their experiences, challenges, and hopes. As such, we present their voices.
Welcome to episode 9 of Their Voices. Today we welcome in Winter to discuss when revision surgery might be needed. Okay, Winter, welcome to our show. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
I just want to thank you for your time and your willingness to share your story. It's going to be so important. I'm so excited. There's so many amazing things to talk about. Just you as an amazing person and having a wonderful attitude about so many really challenging things, but specifically some of the things that you and I went through over the last several years together. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy. So thank you again.
Of course. Thank you. I'm honestly really honored. So
Yeah. Well, you're great, and thank you for joining us. Let's just get right into it so that people kind of know kind of who you are, and before we get to our journey about the voice, just a little bit, maybe kind of who you are, where you're from, and kind of a little background on you.
sure. My name is Winter, and I'm from Burbank. So I grew up in Burbank, the
Nice.
formative years, and I just kind of lived throughout the valley.
Love it. LA, SoCal all the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Valley
Okay.
girl.
You're right. Absolutely love that. So I'm glad that we didn't have to go too far geographically. But when we think about growing up, when do you like first memories of when perhaps your assigned gender really didn't match with what was truly going on?
I think it settled in when I was 6 because I kept hearing people refer to me as a boy, and I didn't understand what boy meant.
Yeah.
I knew that I liked playing with girl toys, and I loved pink, and I felt more comfortable with the girls than I did with the boys. And it wasn't until um, camp counselors or teachers on the playground would say, Winter, you're a boy, play with the boys and stuff like that, that it started to I guess I started to question everything, but I had no representation of what a
Right.
trans person was, so I didn't really know what that meant. So I just,
Just made the best
yeah,
of what must have been a very
yeah,
confusing situation.
yeah. It wasn't until I was like 29 that I started
Wow.
transitioning, but really considering um, everything at 27. So I was a late bloomer in that regard.
Well, I mean, we have to point our fingers to what you're saying exactly, which is how are you supposed to put words to it as a 6-year-old child?
Yeah,
I mean, it, you don't have examples out there, certainly not back in the days. Even nowadays, a little bit more
yeah,
visibility, but still,
yeah.
even in SoCal, it's not
Yeah, I say
necessarily
that all the time. I was so sheltered, even for LA, because I don't think I really knew what a trans person was until maybe 20. And even then, it didn't completely resonate with me just
right.
because I didn't know stories.
Right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. And then finally, when you started hearing the stories,
Yeah.
started
Clues started clicking.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, that does fit.
Things started making, yeah.
Um, so maybe around you're saying 27, you started
Yes.
maybe pursuing more from the medical side,
Um,
not
no,
surgical, but maybe just
no, I
HRT.
started, HRT, I started at 29.
29 too.
Yeah.
It's
But
incredible.
27, 28 is when I had talked to my mom, and I was like, I think I'm non-binary,
Right.
because I knew that there was like a specific part of me that felt really feminine and really female, but I didn't know what that meant. And it wasn't until I met who I call him my trans dad, Ryan, who really helped me put things into perspective. And then once he helped me with how to navigate the medical stuff, it just went, yeah.
Really incredible. What were some of the experiences when you started to come out and have honest discussions with your family? And what did you have support?
Not immediately. My mom is my best friend and my biggest support now. But when I told her, I came out a second time. The first time, even though I I knew that I liked men. I didn't identify with the word gay, and I felt that my whole life. And
Right.
again, did not know what that meant. I just figured I was going to live a celibate lifestyle for the rest of my life. So when I came out again, it was a shocker because I think she was still, as a single mother from El Salvador, she was still trying to struggle with, you know,
Oh yeah.
everything.
Yeah, I mean, to her
Yeah.
experiences, if it was foreign to you growing up in
Yeah.
Southern California,
Yeah.
and we do see this frequently in many different cultures, certainly in our Hispanic
Yeah.
communities.
So it was a little difficult for her, but I think when she saw that I was actually not asking for permission, but taking autonomy for myself and my
Right.
choices, and that's when she jumped on board, and she's been there for
So
every
so beautiful.
surgery, and
It's so beautiful.
yeah,
Oh my gosh. Okay, just take a second. It's you're like I said, your shining beauty in terms of your ability to have such a positive outlook is, for me, has always been such a strength of support for me.
thank
And
you.
hopefully what people can do. But let's continue on to kind of narrow down our focus and really think about when 29 and okay, this is real. This is true. This
Yeah,
is not, oh, this is, we're just trying something, a new
right,
fad. This is, you knew it all along.
right.
And you finally had the words to put it, and finally had the resources, and thankfully for Ryan, and put it into really, let's get the service and the treatment that are
Yeah,
due to you, HRT, and then ultimately start thinking about how the voice plays into your identity. How did that decision come about to say, okay, the voice is something I really need to kind of pursue?
yeah. That um, was even considering that surgery was a little bit of a journey for me because I am an actress,
Right.
and so I was always scared to mess with my voice for that reason. So I knew that when I started navigating surgeries, there was a certain order to things that I wanted to do it, and I wanted voice to be the second to last.
Right.
Um, I think once I felt really confident with how I looked on the outside, then everything else needed to match, if that makes sense. And so
It,
once,
yeah.
yeah, once I had once I realized that I was like passing in person visually, but getting clocked because I started talking,
Right.
then it really started to become a problem for me for safety reasons, for gender dysphoria reasons.
Mhm.
And
Yeah. Just to come back in terms of the order
mhm,
of how certain individuals pursue certain things. Um, in the old school, antiquated textbooks written by cis white men, um, about how to transition an
right,
individual, there was this order of operations. First, you do this surgery, then that surgery, and then the last one was always voice. And then congratulations, you're a woman, right? So that,
right,
thankfully, we've thrown that book in the trash dumpster where it belongs. But it's a very personalized journey because, to your point, I've seen this many times
yeah,
where someone is like, I'm not ready for the vocal transition until certain other pieces are in play.
yes,
I've seen that also with names. Certain people will keep their legal name until everything else is in place. And everyone has what truly makes sense to them. And I love that you were able to pursue that in that order that made the most sense to you.
yeah,
That's beautiful.
yeah,
But now let's talk about, oh, the weight not only of potentially making adjustments to your voice, but again, now that's your livelihood, right?
right,
If something goes wrong, if you don't have that outcomes, now not only is the voice important for who we are in terms of how we function in day to day, and really goes to the core identity. Now that really messes with what you need to be doing.
right,
How on earth could you kind of make sense of all that? It just, you
yeah.
just knew you had to do this. It was just,
I did. There was a certain point where I was also coming up like against I guess a personal block of some sort professionally as an actress and pursuing representation at the time. I knew that I didn't want to be pigeonholed just as a trans woman, which was happening. So I also professionally knew that if I wanted to push in that direction, then I had to do it. And I ended up being signed by the same agency with Brooklyn, who was a patient of yours.
Right.
And I met her before her surgery, and then I met her after, and that was enough for me to feel safe and move forward because I saw how her life blossomed after it.
Yeah, it really is. Uh, yeah, every time I hear another person's journey, it's just it like not only doesn't get old, it's like invigorating for me.
Yeah.
It's so amazing what you're able to have the strength both internally and physically to pursue in terms of the pursuit of truth. Okay, so we've made the decision. We are on our HRT. I had the
Yes.
pleasure of meeting you way back when, and
Yeah.
ultimately, we make the decision to pursue vocal fem surgery, which my preferred method is the vocal fold shortening and retro displacement of the anterior commissure. Last time we have to say that. We'll just call it a glottoplasty,
Okay.
right? The one that we put the stitches in and we really are creating that structure that matches you as a person. We take the vocal cords, which previously were structured as masculine, and we correctly allow them to be structured as feminine. And we decide to move forward
Yes.
way back in the day,
Yes.
a couple of years ago. Okay, so tell me about the experience afterwards. So I tell you no talking for 2 weeks. Then what happens?
Then I freak out.
Yeah, yeah,
Which
yeah.
happens.
Which happens a
Um,
lot.
Yeah, I think hearing barely a voice come out,
hmm
but I had you to kind of walk me
Yeah.
through that, and I knew that I wasn't going to go from 0 to 100 when as soon as I started talking after the 2 weeks. Um, so it was an exercise in patience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Um,
really is. It's minimum 3 months.
yeah.
And so your reaction is absolutely a very common one, which is, oh my God, am I ever gonna get my voice back?
Yeah.
What did you do? What's happening right now? There's a lot of unhealthy thoughts that go through the mind.
Of course.
But yeah, we're there. We listen. We're like, it's okay. You're healing. You're healing. But then around 3 months, I can still remember you coming back and you're like,
Yes.
still with a smile, still with a positive attitude, and in the sweetest way possible. It's not there. So what was
Yeah.
that like feeling of like we didn't get there?
Okay, so what was the feeling of
Like having gone through this whole process and me telling you during the early post-operative period, okay, Winter, you're fine. You just need some more time, and the healing needs to go down. And then finally we get to the point where we are beyond that
yeah.
time, and still that voice that I had been expecting to hear from you,
Yeah.
it wasn't there.
I think what helped honestly was really you explaining what was happening,
hmm
and I was able to visually see it when we did the camera.
Yeah.
And then the steps of how to address it. So at no point did I feel like there wasn't any hope. I kind of already knew that based on the sound of my voice, we were going to have to do something.
Right.
So not doing something wasn't a question for me.
I love it. Yeah, because again, just to kind of circle back on a point that I'm going to hit home a lot,
Yeah.
which is your overall positive attitude was an integral part of your treatment, meaning your ability to say, it's not where I'm at. I'm not going to start throwing things. I'm not going to start, saying the world is out to get me. Your immediate reaction, which is incredible, was what? Okay, let's make a plan. Where are we going to go from
Yeah.
here? No problem. And so what we did was certainly take a look, and we saw, okay, the healing is nearly complete, and the vocal quality, which we'll be able to play of the result of after the surgery,
Yeah.
the vocal quality was not what I would consider affirming, so not to our goals, which can happen,
happen.
but the healing was great. There were no complications. We just didn't get to where we needed to go.
Right.
So the plan was then, okay, let's let's make sure we maximize voice therapy, which is a critical part of the treatment. And let's maximize all the other things like making sure there's no irritation and mucus. And we did that for a long time. We did for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And then we saw each other back, and then no good.
And
And then
lava happened.
then lava, right? So then you're like, again, I remember the sweetest way possible. You're like, is there anything we could do? And I'm like, well, funny you should mention that, because there really is. And the question is, when we do that exam, we need to understand why aren't you getting that voice? And we saw your vocal cords, although they were shortened appropriately, as a woman's vocal cords should be, they were still very heavy. They were still very bulky. And so that was providing us that sound of the voice, which was, again, just like you knew back on the playground, it wasn't yours.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we did everything we could to avoid a second surgery. I said, we can take a laser and we can lighten those up. And, we were both hesitant, right? But it really was. Did you have a moment there during that process where maybe you're like, maybe this is not the right thing, or?
Honestly, no, because I've gone through revisions with surgery in
Right.
general. And because the result the first time wasn't where we wanted it, I knew that if I had already started, I'm going to see it through
Right.
type of a mentality that I
Right.
have when it comes to that. So, and also I really I do trust you. So yeah.
So we went forward. We with the LAVA, and again, the LAVA stands for the Laser Assisted Voice Adjustment Surgery. It is a very important adjunct or secondary procedure when specifically we need to lighten those up.
Yeah.
We went forward. The good news of that, no extended voice rest, so that's wonderful. And that came and went, and then we saw each other early on, and then
It was
And
almost immediate.
it was almost me. Tell me about that. Tell me, because I was so excited.
Yeah. I remember prolonging my no talking period or
Right.
using that as an excuse when I had social gatherings. But then I remember speaking to a friend and kind of showing her my voice for the first time and her reaction. So I knew that maybe even if I couldn't really hear it because I was probably still dealing with, my insecurities and my worries, other people were. So it was kind of affirming to hear other people's reaction to my
Right.
voice. And so that was that was really nice.
Really? Yeah, it was. I got to be honest with you. I mean, for me, I remember walking into the exam room and you saying your first couple words. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God. And then also similar to what your experience was, I went back to your recording. I was like, wait, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
It was just so amazing. I love your voice.
Thank you.
I hope you feel that this is your voice now.
Yeah.
It matches you.
Yeah, I think even now there are still I'm still in rehab for my voice
Right.
because there are things that I'm still struggling with, but it's not necessarily from a gender dysphoria, but just like the mechanical aspects
Mhm.
of it.
Yep.
And I'm noticing more improvement.
Yeah.
So I just think for me,
Yep,
healing
it's
wasn't
blossoming,
linear. Yeah. Yeah.
When you think about your life with a voice that doesn't match you to now your
Yeah.
life with a voice that does truly match you, maybe what are some of the things that, us outsiders may not fully appreciate in terms of that difference, how that affects maybe
Um,
smaller things, or are there small things or larger things in your life that really you can feel that tangible difference now with that voice that matches you?
Even now, I do feel like there is a huge weight that's lifted off of me, especially socially, because I can't really believe that there was a time when I would just not answer people
Yeah.
because I was afraid of talking, because I was afraid of getting clocked based on the sound of my voice. And now it's just not something that I have to think about. And it's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really affirming.
I would agree with that. How's working? working?
Good.
Yeah.
You like for acting? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. I have an agent that I haven't told that I'm trans, and it hasn't come up, and I just auditioned for a mom, a mom role. So I thought that was
Ah,
great. So I mean,
that's
overall, I'm kind of
crazy
got what I
amazing.
wanted. Yeah.
Let's focus now on people gonna watch this,
Yeah.
and let's think about maybe they're at the beginning of their journey. The beginning of the journey, maybe just identifying, as you're saying, that something hasn't been right this whole time, and they're starting to put words to it and names to it, and hopefully there's more visibility and more representation, and hopefully we'll continue that the positive growth that we are
Right.
hopefully providing. um, what would you say is some of the important factors when someone's just starting out, maybe that they don't have a Ryan in their life?
If they don't have a Ryan in their life, I would say take your time. And you
Oh,
hear this all the
love it.
time. And I really honestly do wish I could go back to my younger self and tell myself that I don't have to rush through everything. Um, and I think a big aspect of it was also finding like the LGBT center and the trans women's center as guides. So there are resources out there if you don't have a Ryan in your life.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're such good advice. I love it. Um, Not everyone is as wonderfully positive as you. In fact, I wish I were. um, what maybe are some words of encouragement or advice you may have when some other people may feel discouraged, either because they're not getting the outcomes or they're
Oh,
frustrated by the systems? How can they follow your example?
yeah, I would say don't stop until there is a final no. And you won't
Right.
know until
Just keep
you
going.
keep going. Yeah. And that's with obviously anything, but especially as a trans person going through these surgeries.
I absolutely love that. Um, you're also, again, you walk a very wonderful line of being able to stay positive, being able to continue to have that smile on, so soft spoken, not necessarily in volume, but just in terms of not feeling you have to take up more room. But on the same token, you are a very strong advocate for yourself.
Yes.
And if you were very clear, this is, we're not done yet. We're going, we're going to keep on going. And I love that. And it was important because some people
Yeah.
might just be like, all right, it is what it is. And you're like,
Yeah.
no, this is not what it is. It's not where I need to be. How can you provide any guidance for someone in terms of being able to really strongly advocate for themselves?
Yeah, I think it really does require having a good medical team. And I'm when I felt that I wasn't being heard, I went and I got another second opinion. And it's not necessarily because I'm right, but I know my body more than anyone else. And I think trans people know their bodies more than anyone else. So I think just, advocating for yourself. And if you're not happy, keep trying with someone else.
Um, I learned that from you, which is you told me something wasn't right,
Yeah.
and a little part of me was like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Like whatever. But you were like so right, 100% right across the board. And I'm glad in terms of what you were saying in terms of the advice of slow. We went,
Yeah.
we were very deliberate in our pacing in terms of how to make the decision and moving forward for that second
Yeah.
revision for that operation. But you taught me to, again, listen, take a second. She knows what she's talking about, and
Yeah.
it was really wonderful. So I feel like I'm the better for our journey together. All right, let's try to bring it on home and continuing that positive
Sure.
winter attitude. What really kind of brings you joy at this point in your life?
That I feel the medical side of things are finally slowing down so I can enjoy just kind of living.
Right, just being a
You-
normal human being.
Yeah.
How
And
strange is that?
yeah. So I think there's a certain peace that comes with it because I really just I started and I wasn't gonna stop until I got to a certain place.
And we're
And
kind
not
of
that, yeah, and not that transitioning is a stop and start and stop. Um, it's gonna, it's the rest of our lives, but
certainly. But on the same token, there are mile markers that you've
yes,
crossed, and each
yeah,
time there's maybe one less marker to pass.
yes,
And
absolutely,
so, yeah, that's got to bring a lot of joy. When you look back at that journey, really, I don't want to go all the way back to 6-year-old Winter, but maybe 27-year-old Winter. What is like maybe one part of that journey that you feel proud about?
that I wasn't scared of trying really. When I maybe because I didn't know the language, I didn't have the tools, but I trusted myself enough to know that if I am reaching out to this person, Ryan, it's because there is something there that he's going to help me understand. So I think 27-year-old Winter, I think she's okay because ultimately she's the reason why I'm here now.
You are. You're
Yeah.
thriving and you're doing
Yeah.
so great. Okay. I think I think I'm just going to say thank you
Yeah.
for
Thank
being
you.
you and for coming on the show and sharing such a beautiful story. Thank you for all the wonderful things you've done for me personally and professionally. And I can't wait to continue on to see where your journey takes you next.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
All right.